Hi, I'm Doc Palmer. Thanks for joining me today. I'm the author of McGraw-Hill's handbook, The Maintenance Planning and Scheduling Handbook. Obviously, I would recommend it. It's a great resource. Planning is the productivity piece of maintenance. We can do all this great reliability center maintenance, PM optimization, root cause analysis, and we come up with a bunch of little things we need to do. If we're not productive, that stuff just dies in the backlog. So I want to talk about organizational theory. Planning and scheduling gives us the pop, not because we're doing a better job with parts and tools. That just totally frustrates everybody. Our vice president promised all of our mechanics, now that we have maintenance planning, you mechanics will never have to hunt for parts anymore. Well, that's just not Dr. Deming. You can't promise that. That just made everybody mad because nobody's perfect and everybody beat up on the planners. But it's not just having the parts and tools available that accelerates our productivity. Planning is a huge source of frustration because we don't understand coordination. So, what I think about at night is organizational theory, but it's an exciting topic, let me tell you. An organization is a group of people working toward a common goal. And by the way, you need to understand this to know that planning and scheduling is not just parts and tools to make it work. You don't have to be enthralled about organizational theory, though, like I am. We understand a group. I mean, we're here, we're not fishing. And we understand a common goal. Generally, it's to make our product and sell it at a profitable amount in a legally, environmentally safe manner. For some companies, wastewater, it's more we don't want to pollute the river. So, but we understand generally what we're trying to do as a goal. And then we really understand specialization. An organization is a group of people working toward a common goal. When you have a group of people, you can specialize. But when you specialize, you have to coordinate. We're very good at specialization. In 1776, something very important happened. An English person named Adam Smith wrote a book called The Wealth of Nations. You can still buy this economics book today. This is a reproduction copy. It's a valuable book, really talks about that. And one of the things Adam Smith talked about was a pen factory. And in this pen factory, everybody made their own pens. And working diligently, a person could make about 18 pens in a day. They would extrude the cable, cut off one end, cut off the other end, sharpen one end, flatten one end, polish it, and put it in a box. And these big industrial pens, it just took a while, careful, making them all from scratch. Well, all he did was put them in an assembly line of 10 different steps. One person, all they did was extrude cable. One person, all they did was cut cable. One person, all they did was sharpen one. Really boring stuff where you go home and you're upset because you had a boring day. But 10 people working together could make 48,000 pins in a day. So by specializing, each person could make the pins per person went to 4,800 pins per person. And that's why we specialize. Henry Ford and the automobile, one group makes a bumper, one group makes a chassis, one group makes a frame, one group makes the brakes. And it's just, we just understand specialization. But we don't understand coordination very well. Most companies around the world reorganize every 5 years. Every 5 years. We've been making electricity in Northeast Florida for over 100 years. Why do we need to reorganize? And it starts with somebody saying things are falling in the cracks. That we're good at specializing, things fall in the cracks. It's the specializing we're good at, but we don't coordinate among the groups. And when enough people say, things are falling in the cracks, we just reorganize. We change things around. And then after we reorganize, somebody says, after the organization settles out, and then we just start to destroy the coordination. And over the course of about 5 years, uh, we've made it so the coordination part is not supporting the specialized part, and things are falling in the crack and reorganize. A lot of companies go from steep companies where there's a lot of middle management helping and getting stuff ready for people, but the middle management starts to meddle instead of helping. They're getting in the way of people. And so we go to empowerment. We go to flat organizations. So everybody's responsible for their own destiny there. But then they don't get enough support. And so we go to steep organizations. Every 5 years, some company goes from steep organizations to flat organizations. So let me show you how that works in a power plant. Have three mechanical groups, one for unit 1, one for unit 3, and one for unit 2 plus common equipment. Then we have an electrical group. We have an instrument group. We have a storeroom and a tool room. We're specialized in the different areas in here. But then all the supervisors, managers, admins, planners, we do a terrible job with this coordination. We set up this great group, and then the destruction begins. When we finish the reorganization, and somebody says, as soon as the organization settles out, everything will be fine. What they mean is, when these people understand their jobs, they won't need as much support. So the average spread, drop my marker, for a first line supervisor craft, especially for mechanicals, is about 10 to 15 persons. But when one of the supervisors leaves, instead of promoting somebody to be a new supervisor, what we'll do is say, well, since everybody knows what they're doing now, they don't need as much coordination. They don't say it that way. But we'll let this one supervisor handle these two crews. Well, now they're supervising about 30 persons. And that just ends up being too much. So, but still, instead of promoting somebody back into the coordination, we'll add working foremen or four persons nowadays. But these working foremen, four persons, we'll add two of those, but they're under one supervisor. But these people haven't really been promoted. They're still part of the craft and part of the union. And they're still working with their friends and stuff. And they really don't have the authority to discipline and direct as much as a supervisor. So we've got these people in place that really don't have the authority to direct some of the work. And then over the years, we just clog up supervisors with admin work and meetings. It's death by meeting. And then the electricians and the instrument techs, for some reason, we get the idea that that's too much specialization. And it might be in some cases. I'm saying very generally stuff. But we'll combine the electricians and the instrument techs. So now they don't have a supervisor. Or they have one supervisor for electricians and instrument tech, and the electricians are all expected to kind of do instrument work, and the instrument techs are supposed to do some of the electrical work, but amongst themselves, they kind of specialize. But there's a lot more people there, and they really don't have as much supervision as they really need. Somebody out there directing traffic, but we've clogged up that supervisor in meetings and stuff. And then the storeroom and the tool room. Even though we've been talking about we want to be a process-based organization based on outcomes, and not a functional-based organization where people just have their little silos, I've noticed that they both work behind a counter. So I work for the electric company, so ding, a little light bulb comes on. Let's combine the storeroom and the tool room behind one counter, and we'll save an attendant there and also not need a supervisor. And the storeroom really is a different function from the tool room. I would like to have an elder craftsperson in the tool room to help advise people what tools they use for different things. But now it's just a checkout. You come get what you need, and we might have it. And on the admin stuff, one of the admin people retired and they left. And, I've realized that mechanics, electricians, instrument techs, and supervisors can type. So why do we need a clerk? And we don't value that clerical position. And then we tried planning and that didn't work because we're trying to make parts and tools perfectly available. And nobody's perfect, just made everybody mad. And it takes about 5 years just to gut the organization. So, properly done, though, understanding planning is a vital part of coordination. We get a 50% pop in work order completion rate because we're coordinating work better. So, properly done with the coordination from planning scheduling, we get a 50% pop there. And that's because the wrench time goes from 35 to 55. But it doesn't just happen because you have parts and tool available. It doesn't happen because you have people out there trying to make people look busy. There's a lot of complex stuff in that, but it does hinge on organizational theory that planning and scheduling is not just parts and tools ready. It's got a big deal to do with coordination. And that's my passion, organizational theory, as you can probably tell. But thanks for letting me be part of your maintenance family, and we'll talk to you next time, and God bless.